Google Slides is pretty straightforward to use. You're probably familiar with how to do it, but I want to make sure that you get the most bang for the buck, as it were, to make the coolest, most interesting slide possible. So a couple of things that you can do just in regards to editing some of the format options to personalize it. For this particular assignment, you are able to move your objects around. You're going to start with just a blank template with some placeholder images that you should replace. And I'm just going to go through some of the things that I've done on mine. First of all, I've typed my name in here. So on yours, it starts with a blank one as well. But to change the name, you double click on it. So this is WordArt, which is different than typical text because you have some different properties. So you'll put your name in it. And then if you want to change the format a little bit, toward the top there's the format options. So you click on that. You can change the size and rotation, position. You can put a drop shadow on it. You could change the color of that drop shadow. I did sort of a lighter one. If I wanted to do more of a yellow, just to kind of keep that yellow theme going, I could do that. I could also change it maybe to be a little bit cooler with blue. Just you can play around with different options, and also the transparency of that can be brought down to 0 or brought up to closer to 100 or 100%. You won't even see it, which is kind of pointless to put a drop shadow on at that point. You can change the angle of it, the distance, those sorts of things. The blur, the bigger the blur, the less defined it becomes. So it just sort of depends on what you want to do. That's with the drop shadow. And you don't even need a drop shadow, so you can uncheck that. You could put a reflection on it simply by clicking. And there's some different properties here as well with transparency. If you don't want it very transparent, go down to 0. Or if you want it more transparent, you can bring it up. I actually kind of like that. You can also, space the distance between that reflection a little bit. You can make the size of it. It could be a really big reflection. You can kind of see those change slightly. I know I've got a lot of other stuff on there, which makes it a little bit harder to see. But again, so when you have the WordArt selected, these format options, if they're hidden, are going to be right up here with format options. Okay. You can change your type, the fonts. I have Impact selected, and you can drop down and choose whatever font you want. You can change the color of that font by clicking on text color, and you can kind of scroll through till you like the one that you end up on. I'm actually just gonna, I don't remember which one that actually was, so I'm just gonna undo that. You can, of course, change the size. You need to make sure that you have that whole thing selected, all of that text area selected, in order to change that as a whole. You can add different pictures as well. So in order to upload a picture, you would either click on the Insert Image option or go up to Insert and choose Image. And so you could either upload it from your computer or search from the web. So part of the assignment today is to do the image that you've created in Canva. So you're going to have to upload that from the computer, right? So Insert Image, Upload from Computer, or just go to Insert Image. Again, when you click on it, you have different options there. For these other ones, you can choose whether or not you use images that you've taken, or that you just find off of the web, and that's fine. That's fine too for this one. So what you want to be thinking about if you're communicating about yourself, you probably want to have pictures that are representative of the things that you have in this, in the text here, right? You want it to kind of communicate a uniform message. So like if I say I love to camp, I don't necessarily need to have a picture of somebody shopping, right? That just wouldn't make sense. So instead I have a picture of a campsite that is a pretty spectacular vista that kind of sums up one of the reasons why I love to camp, just being out in nature. I lived in Europe, so I took a picture of Neuschwanstein in Germany, which is a pretty fairy tale castle, to say the least. It's pretty spectacular. And then, of course, my son now is teaching me how to ride wheelies, so I am currently every day outside riding wheelies with my son, or I should say trying to, and having competitions and getting beaten soundly by him. And then, of course, the other thing that you need to add for this, if you look at the criteria, is this one. Tell us something that you think is interesting about graphic design. So what do you find kind of interesting? So I've given you this sentence frame. If you want to use that, that's fine. Just fill in the blanks there, and you can do that. And so the thing that is most interesting to me about graphic design is that there are endless possibilities as possible careers, because we are in an image-rich culture, then that is not going away. So that's a belief I have. I think why it's interesting to me as a possible career is that you guys, as you're thinking about possibilities of things to do with your future, this is definitely a pretty cool option. So that's one of the reasons why I'm pretty excited about it for you as well, whether or not you choose to go that direction. One other thing that you can do is to change the background of the slide. So yeah, it's kind of boring, just white. If you click on background, you could put an image in there. You could reset it to the theme, or you could choose a color. So you can, by default, it'll choose a solid. There's also a tab for you to choose a gradient, and you can kind of switch from radial gradient to a linear gradient. So radial means it's radiating from the center. Linear is that it's sort of in a linear form, so it's going from light to dark in a uniform manner. And then you could play around with other ones as well. But those are some of the things that you can you could add. Other things that you can do, you can add lines, shapes as well, if you want to. So, you know, if I wanted to put like a rectangle behind my name just to kind of offset that, it would cover it, right? Until I right click, and then I change the order of it. I'm going to just send that to the back. All right, so now I'm able to have that behind. I can also at this point change, oops, if I select that, it's going to change those properties. I need to make sure that I have the right object selected to edit it. So I could do it, you know, a fill, if I wanted to do just another gradient kind of thing there. It's totally a possibility. So lots and lots of different options for you out there, and you're certainly not limited to one thing, one way to do it. But hopefully that helps with just some quick tips on using Google Slides.